Welcome back to episode 69 of the Disorganized Wizard Club podcast. My name is Alex. I'm here as always with Adam.
Hello.
And Cam.
Hey.
We're a group of Ottawa-based players that play just about anything and everything we can qualify for. We talk about decks, tournaments, stories, just about anything to help you and ourselves get better at Magic.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
If all goes according to plan.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Rarely does.
Yeah.
We're recording 2 hours late today.
Oh, yeah.
There were some travel issues due to the fact that Ottawa had basically spring and a lot of rain, and then all that rain froze.
Oh, yeah. Tried to get my car out of the driveway, shoveled and everything, but I couldn't shovel under my car where it's just a skating rink.
Yep.
And so my car, which is front-wheel drive, when I went to hit reverse, just sat there spinning. So I just sat there waiting for Alex to come pick me up.
I was like slipping around campus today. Was going to bus here to Alex's place. Have to transfer at kind of a minor station and check my like app, and it's like next bus is in 40 minutes. Right on.
Yeah. The joys of Canadian winter.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, love it. Love it. Can't wait to move.
All right, so week one of Ixalan. We didn't have an SEG standard event to kick off week one like we do with most standards. It was a team event.
Team event.
So although there was standard, we didn't really get a accurate picture from that as to what decks are really the best.
Yeah,
Right?
it's something that a lot of people I think are going to make the mistake of looking at the standard results from, the Star City. They'll check deck results and think, oh, this standard deck like won this SCG event. Well, I mean, it might have gotten carried by its legacy and modern decks. Like, you don't know what their win percentage was. Like, we don't have that kind of information, so it makes it difficult.
Mm-hmm. And really looking at Moto 50 lists and the results from the Classic, standard really is kind of just all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So many decks.
Oh yeah, it is wild.
People are still like, they're not even in the phase of narrowing down what decks are good. They're still in the phase of figuring out what decks are even possible.
Yeah. Like, can I play these? Like, can I play this deck? Like, is it even a reasonable...
Yeah, can I put these two cards together? Oh, look, 4-1, 5-0? Sure. And just like nothing's refined because it's just all these like proof of concept
and like
decks.
like a ham sandwich can 5-0, so it's like impossible to tell, right? Even if that's a viable result, like we have no idea.
Yeah.
Especially with the way that WotC currently manages information and release of deck lists, like we have no idea what's happening, which I don't know how I feel about, but it's definitely interesting. And at the store level, definitely what you want.
Yeah.
Although you said at the store level, a lot of people are playing the Grixis energy list because that's just the cards everyone had, right?
Yeah. I went to play some of the new format at local store, the Wizard's Tower, who has all your single needs. They have free shipping to Canada and the US on singles. Oh, that was bad.
Free shipping in the US and Canada.
Yeah.
Great store, great events, great sponsors of
Check
this
them out
podcast.
At www.wizardtower.com.
Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so at the Wizard Tower, after the Teamer Energy banning, I think a lot of people had, over the course of the last standard format, played Black-Green Energy or Teamer Energy or Four-Color Energy and, the other Scarab Gods kicking around. So it was just very easy for a lot of people to transition to these new Grixis energy lists, which just kind of have like such efficient threats and such a toolbox of answers that it makes sense that they're doing very well right now because
it's just
it's
a pile of known good mid-range cards.
Yeah, and whatever random card they play against, I got to disallow for that, or like I can Supreme Will that, or like, oh, you're playing some weird creature, okay, I'll Gear Hulk you.
Right, like Scarab God.
Yeah.
Playing a
That's
bunch
a nice
of
creature.
good,
Plays Glim Sleeve Siphoner too, right?
Yeah, gotta draw cards.
Yeah, I mean, that card's awesome.
just a bunch of good removal,
fun.
mythic rares, and Whirler Virtuoso.
It's funny because like the control decks, quote unquote, are just like these mid-range value creature decks nowadays, which I've been saying and complaining about for years. But
And this is the like actual embodiment of it.
Yeah, this is exactly what is happening now. Finally, it's because that's how I've been building limited control decks for the last couple of years as well. You used to be able to play like straight up control decks in limited, but you can't anymore because creatures are too good compared to spells at the common and uncommon level. So like I've talked about this with Cam tons. Like in limited, I build my control decks with like junky value 2-drops and then like some control spells like removal spells and bombs. But like now that's just also happening. Think about it, right? That's happening in standard. Like you have these like two drop creatures, right? Like Glint Sleeve and all this, and then like Supreme Will, Disallow, like Torrential Gear Hulk, Scarab God.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny actually.
But I mean,
just moved to this like kind of like weird moment of control.
Can control even exist if like that type of deck is good? Because like, what if you're trying to play the control mirror against this, right? Like
That's just a pre-boarded mid-range deck.
right, you have to fight against like you have to interact with their Scarab Gods, probably counter it. You have to interact with their Gear Hulks, not let them like flash black glimmers, and you have to be able to kill their 2-drops because they're like Glint Sleeve's going to run.
They're
away with the
snowbally
game.
2-drops. Yeah, no, it's like terrible. Because like a lot of their cards are just going to be good. Post board, they're all going to be good, and like you might not just have all the tools to fight them at the right moment. Whereas like their cards are probably going to be good almost always.
So if you're playing like hard control, you have to play like combo control, approach the second sun, and hope that
You just have enough
because like
time.
their 2-drops are slightly underpowered stats wise.
Yeah.
So you can probably like they can't race you.
You just got to like settle and fumigate them and then
Yeah.
kill them immediately. You can't like goof around with like, you know,
It's time
Nephalia Drown Yard style.
It's a time to bring back the turbo combo with like just ramp spells and approach.
yeah, Jim Davis played a Bant Approach deck in the team event, and he was streaming it yesterday. It was just a Bant Approach land control. With like Settle the Wreckage, bunch of Deserts, Hour of Promise, and then a bunch of exile effects I cast out, and it won with Approach, and yeah, it seemed okay.
Yeah, no, that's like definitely a viable strategy. I just like don't find Approach enjoyable to play at all. It's kind of like
It's really linear. It's just don't die. Okay, you're dead.
yeah, I don't know.
Which
and then like
is
they
kind
have
of
to
all
negate
Magic
some
moved up,
die
but
like
yeah,
later.
exactly.
Like I don't know. That's just miserable. It's like yeah, it's just not for me, but I think that the deck is good. Also, like I think the Hour of Promise is just a criminally underplayed standard card in its entire career so far in standard.
Yeah, it's just so
It's
limiting.
so powerful though. Like
Yeah.
it, you know, like 2 lands and 2 bodies is just for 5 mana is just what a deal. That's just a good deal,
It's a good rate.
right? Like the deserts, yeah, it can be an issue, but I mean, like if you look at the Moto meta game right now, like Esper Gifts is what the 2nd or 3rd most played deck. 3rd was it?
Yeah, it's pretty. Let me pull it up.
Right, like a lot of people are playing that deck. Like a lot of people think that God Pharaoh's Gift, and I agree with them, is a well-positioned strategy in the format. So if that's the case, playing Hour of Promise is great because it gets Scavenger Grounds.
Yeah, you just tutor for it.
Right, you just tutor for your 1 of Scavenger Grounds, which is very good. It also is able to get other utility lands. Right, like there's just like.
What other utility lands do we have in standard?
Well, I mean, if you're playing against control, like in theory, you can go get like what's a dumb creature one like.
Oh, the 3/4?
Yeah, it depends if you have ways to enable it in your graveyard.
Yeah, sure.
But like if you're playing deserts, you can sack. Then you probably are.
Yeah, even just going and getting like the removal spell ones, like if you're Deadlands, it's
Right.
pretty good.
Yeah, like there's lots of utility in that, and I'm kind of waiting now for the time where people start taking advantage of those lands and start taking advantage of deserts, because I don't think that's been fully explored, because I don't think there was the space in standard previously to explore those strategies. Because of how defined standard was, like there wasn't space for deserts to see play, but they're very good. Like the white one is, you know, like probably
Dunes,
standard playable. Like I think all of them are one's banned in standard.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of like a bummer that these like ramp decks have typically been green-red, like green-red monsters ramping into big threats, and they banned some of the red deserts, so your Hour of Promise got kind of nerfed in that deck, but
yeah. But yeah, I mean, like even the green one has seen standard play actually since its printing because of Pummeler decks, right? But even in these kind of like green red monsters decks we're seeing, I think it sees play, right? Hash of Oasis? I thought I saw some in the lists.
it's a lot better than it used to be if you're playing Rekindling Phoenix, because the problem was it doesn't give trample, right? But if you just have flyers in your deck,
I saw a list that we were looking at that had a copy in it.
Yeah, the desert that's seeing the most play right now is Sheffet Dunes.
Yeah, I mean, Sheffet Dunes, like there's a white-blue tokens deck, right?
Yeah.
And like that, Sheffet Dunes is amazing. It's just a free Glorious Anthem in your lands that you cash in later. Like lands that are spells are insane. Like they're so good, and every time they've been in standard have seen play. I mean, like if they're Deadlands or Dreadlands or whatever saw play in zombies. Like,
Yep.
won a Pro Tour, right? Like these.
Yeah, and I mean, there's still like black aggro decks that are playing that card.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
I just think that I would like to spend some time playing around with Hour of Promise more. I think that card just has so much potential, especially now because there's payoffs for going long, probably like Zatalpa or something. You know, like that card, if you ramp to that card, or like even just the kind of like green-white tokens, big tokens decks that play like Anointed Procession into Hour of Promise. Like that's something I can get behind.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it's worth looking into. But yeah, like just looking at the top 4 decks from Standard, you have Grixis Energy, Mardu Vehicles, Esper Gift, Black-Green Constrictor. The only deck above 10% in the metagame is Grixis right now at 13. Everything else is around 8 or lower.
I mean, Mono Red's close to.
Yeah, Mono Red at 6. Like then Green Red Monster is same percentage as Mono Red. Like the format's diverse. There's lots of decks you can play, lots of strategies you can take.
Maybe like the bannings were good. Like if you were to look at this snapshot, like it looks healthier.
Yeah, I really wish the Pro Tour was Standard. I really wish it was.
So it would ruin everything? Because
Do you actually wish that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. A lot
like,
more exciting to watch than Modern.
Where's your childlike wonder in exploring the vast field of possibilities in this new format?
I don't know, man. I think with a fresh format like this, everything is so diverse. I think it'd be really cool to see at the Pro Tour rather than just seeing Modern. We're going to see all the same decks. And
there is going to be a wave of bannings post Pro Tour. Guaranteed.
You think so?
I mean, when has there not been? Every single Modern Pro Tour. I was talking about this with someone at the store when we were playing Release Sealed this weekend. They were like, "No, I think Modern's going to be okay. Like it's fine. Like the Pro Tour, it'll be good for it." And I'm like, "It never has been. I don't know why you would think that this is the exception when
they got it right this time."
Yeah, they got it right this time when literally every single other Pro Tour has resulted in bannings.
Maybe that's just like
or pre-bannings. Like it's either been a ban immediately afterwards. There was one where it wasn't, which was PT Dragon's Maze, maybe. I'm going off memory here, where they banned Birthing Pod like 2 weeks before the Pro Tour, right? And they banned it to spice it up, right? And then they did the same thing. Then they just banned Twin anyway afterwards. Yeah. So like the Pro Tour has never resulted in a healthy Modern metagame and no bannings. Like,
and then Eldrazi was after that.
Right. Like every Pro Tour has just been a train wreck for the format. Like it results in bannings, like it results in a concentration of the format and the metagame and what people play. Mm-hmm. Like the reason, okay, so like that guy like chirped us on Twitter for like dunking on Modern, right? Modern at the store level is fun. It is enjoyable.
Okay.
Maybe, well,
explain your thoughts.
In the sense that
sources,
like
please.
People love it and lots of people show up and people play all these different decks and people love that. Like people enjoy that. And to be fair, like you can probably cover the spread in a lot of cases in Modern. I do agree, like having this conversation with Pete, that like Modern isn't as bad to sideboard for as it used to be. It's getting better.
Okay.
And like I think that the Mardu deck in Modern is like really sweet. Like Bedlam Reveler is an awesome card. I think like Young Pyro Mardu deck, you're basically playing like a Legacy Delver deck in Modern. Like that deck is sweet and it's really cool and it plays Thoughtseize. Grixis Death Shadow is sweet. Like there's lots of cool decks that can interact. Like Storm isn't running roughshod over your local shop because not everyone wants to play it. Like, yeah, like Tron is miserable for some decks to play against. Like that's a problem. But like at the same time, like you can kind of like play whatever you want and do decently well at your store event and have fun. Like that's good, right? The problem is that like every time after a Pro Tour, you go to your local shop and like every single person is playing Treasure Cruise Blue Red Delver. Like I remember when that happened. Like I went to play Modern and everyone who just played different decks for like months and then like that deck, was just winning GPs and like everyone was playing it. That was all that everyone played at the store and it was like, oh, this sucks. And then everyone complains because that's how Modern is, and then it gets banned. So like I don't understand the mindset of Modern players wanting a Modern Pro Tour because it ruins their metagame. It ruins the diversity that they love. Like I don't really care about like the metagame diversity, but like the PT will ruin it, right? Like it will just encourage people to play like the best deck. And it starts like the nuclear arms race for like winning store credit at like local. No, like that's the thing. So like, yeah, it's not good for it. Yeah, the Modern PT is not.
WotC should start keeping track of kind of their like their kryptonite, things they just shouldn't do, things that they can't beat, namely like modern Pro Tours artifact sets.
Oh yeah, you can't go near an artifact set ever again. It's over. Like every single time. No, like I'm not kidding. Like you can't do it. They can never do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Next time they do it, people should just say like if you do we're not going to buy these cards.
But they will because they'll be busted.
I know, and I'm just going to buy every card that's like a busted artifact, and then
it'll get banned, and then you lose your money. And rinse, repeat.
Yep.
Yep.
Because they can't not screw up when it comes to artifact sets and all the things surrounding it. It's because they blows the color pie. Or we've talked about this before, but yeah, I don't know. Modern is like whatever, but I like it looks cool when you watch it in events because like Grixis Shadow's a cool deck and it's a healthy deck, and Humans is cool, and there's like a playstyle is Lieutenant. It's attacking, like it does all these cool. Like Modern's not that bad, but I feel like it might be. Maybe this is the one Pro Tour. Maybe this is the one time.
That's pretty optimistic.
That they don't ban something afterwards, or like the metagame doesn't become just like miserable afterwards.
I guess we'll see, but
at
as
some
record
point,
shows,
if you ban if you have modern Pro Tours and ban the good decks and simultaneously release weaker and weaker standard sets as they've been doing, at some point you just run out of good cards.
Yeah.
And then, Modern's fine.
Yeah, you just ban all the good cards.
Yeah.
then what?
I don't know, ban fetches. Then we're good. But anyway, yeah. Enough about Modern.
I don't know.
Dumb Modern.
I'm still
gonna watch the PT. I'm stoked. And it's like you said, because I want to watch like people just get pounded into the dirt by some like obnoxious strategy in Modern. Because that's just how it rolls, like.
Yeah.
But there is nothing in the set, right, that looks like it's gonna break Modern.
No.
Like we're safe in that sense.
I think so.
Maybe it will be a good Modern PT because the last sets, like I don't think can have a huge influence on Modern in the same way that other sets in the past have, because the power level isn't the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair.
So maybe.
It's unlikely, but what are the chances that there's like some weird corner case combo everyone forgot about with like Blood Sun?
No way.
There's no chance? 0%.
That card stinks.
Right. Outside of like some weird combo everyone forgot about that just like kills your opponent.
If you don't think the Reddit like hive mind would like figured out that bad janky combo in the first like 5 minutes, you out your mind.
Right, but they just can't imagine the
mind.
level. They just can't imagine the level of plays that these pros perform at.
Too smart for you. Yeah. There was also Legacy. Legacy Wild as usual.
Oh, from the team event.
Yeah, the team event in SCG. Wild as usual.
Yeah.
Lands and Delver decks.
Death
and Taxes decks.
Top 4 was Lands, Turbo Depths, Delver, and Mono Red Sneak Attack.
Yeah. Miserable deck. miserable deck. Mono Red Sneak Attack. That deck is the epitome of just like unfun misery.
Want to know who played it?
Zach Elsick.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy who plays the guy who built Lantern Control.
Lantern Control.
Or at least made it famous.
Are you surprised?
No, that deck, like it's a prison deck with like an obnoxious combo and an obnoxious card. Like the deck isn't good. It's just insanely hateful and locks people out. The deck's miserable. It has no control of its draw steps. Like it's actually like just Garbo deck. I think a lot of like, but it has Chalice of the Void and stuff. Like that's, I hate that deck. It sucks. There was a Death and Taxes playing the Magus of the Moon version that top 8'd too. That's a sweet deck though. And he was playing like Orzhov Pontiff in the sideboard. Like it was a Mardu like splashing black basically for the sideboard for like surgicals, which I thought was cool. Legacy Wild, man. Love it.
Yeah. Don't ever change Legacy. Never will.
Yeah, I mean, it won't because they're not going to ban Brainstorm. So it's just going to be the same format forever.
I was going to say they won't ban anything, but they ban Top. So
isn't there a Pro Tour in the summer right? The 20th or 25th anniversary?
Yeah, it's a team Pro Tour, right?
Is it the 20th anniversary or 25th? 25th.
I think it's 25th at this point.
25th anniversary, yeah. Magic Night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm turning 25. I'm as old as Magic. It started in 93.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're right. 25th. Same,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
So,
but yeah, it's
Can't believe I forgot my own anniversary.
There's a team event, so there's going to be Legacy at the PT, right?
Yes. And Modern and Standard.
Hold on to your duels, kids. Dude, I almost bought a bunch of, I think I told you about this, I almost bought a bunch of Savannahs from wizardtower.com during their sweet sales because they were like still like $60. And I was like, this stupid Legacy Pro Tour coming up. I should just buy all the cheap duels because like just legacy things, right? Like I went to look and now they're like $200. I'm like, come on, man. I always do that to myself. I'm always like, man, I should buy that card. It's going to be like spike. And then it doesn't. Hashtag MTG finance. Get at me for all your finance needs.
Oh my God. All right. Let's talk a bit about team events. So Team Constructed. There's been a lot of those events. SEG's really pushing team events. And I mean, there's been a lot of team events on the GPs as well, mostly team limited, but really with Magic's 25th anniversary, they've recently in general, even with the team pro tours, like the team pro tour teams, they've been pushing a lot of team things.
Yeah, there's like Indianapolis this weekend for limited.
Yeah.
The top four was like all just like heavy hitters, right? Like Eric Severson, like
yeah. Well, 3 out of the 4 teams were all heavy hitters. Like and then the guys who won just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah. But it was like Paulo and stuff,
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about prepping for team events. I think we wanted to touch on that a bit. So like you're going to play in a team event this weekend, Team Constructed. Say you're going to SCG. What kind of approach do you take to picking decks for all your teammates?
Right. So like this was like a conversation we were having that we thought we would just save for the podcast. You're going to kind of get like a live hot take on like this issue.
100% less planning than normal. Still 0 planning.
But yeah, like we were having this conversation of, is it a different metagame at a team event, or how does it affect people's deck selection and choices? Because you have certain choices when it comes to picking a deck that I think are influenced by different factors when you're playing in a team event. Because, for example, at a recent team event that the old 12 Forcemen won, we played against somebody and I got smushed, and the person I played against was playing mono red, and they said, yeah, I was going to play my Sweet Brew or whatever, but my team wouldn't let me. Right? They made me play mono red. Mm-hmm. And he kicked my teeth in. But he was like, because I'd been playing mono red forever and I knew how to play it. And I should have known. I think I talked about it on the podcast. I kept a hand with like Bolus in the opener because I was like, guaranteed he's playing Teamer. You know, like this hand otherwise is not. It's like I had like a nut 6 plus Bolus. I was like, okay, keep. And then he just like, turn 1, Bomac Courier. I'm like, uh-oh. Scoop him up. But yeah, so he was kind of pressured by his teammates to play the deck that he was good with and familiar with, or like a best deck, right? He's like one of the top 2 decks in the format, or the only 2 decks in the format, and not some like, white-blue cycling, which is what he joked about playing, and like a few, or some, maybe it was the dumb combo deck, New Perspectives. He was thinking about playing that deck, right? But his teammates were like, no, don't like ruin this tournament for us, right? Where we have to win every single match because you just literally can't win. So I think that there probably is like a metagame.
I think you can expect
factor in that,
especially if you're, even early rounds of larger tournaments like GPs or SCGs, and more so at local events. Usually there's people like with their brews trying things out, trying like pet cards, etc. But I think at team events, the 3 members of the team will all just pressure each other into net decking.
Right. Yeah. I think that's like a pretty standard approach. Like people are just going to play whatever, like the best deck.
Mm-hmm. Pick the best deck in quotes from each format and just run it.
Yeah, and just go for it, right?
Yeah.
And then I think this applies in standard probably though more than the other formats, because like I always play standard in the team events with the team I play with. Mm-hmm. Just because I'm sort of priced into having to do it. Like I could play all 3 formats, but my other teammates can't. Like the only format my modern player plays is modern.
Yeah.
And basically the only Magic that my other teammate plays anymore is also Legacy. So they're just like, they don't even know what other cards do in other formats. So,
yeah, okay.
So, but it's a good thing because they just play the best decks, right? Like, and we're like undefeated in the team events we've played in because we just are scumbag net deck.
Question. Does your modern player only play the best deck, or do they only play when Storm is the best deck?
They only play when Storm is the best deck.
There you go.
Otherwise, they just skip modern. They will Ryan, my friend who plays, will only play modern when he'll show up sometimes for other things, but like he definitely comes out of the woodwork more when Storm is well positioned. Like I remember a year ago, like when Baral was out, he'll like see a sweet Storm deck online, like a sweet list, and he'll be like, "Ooh, I'm going out to play some Modern," like, 'cause he'll be like, "This deck is lit," and he'll go out and like kick everyone's teeth in, and then be like, "All right, I'm good," like not play for a while. So, but yeah, it's just. But also, it's one of those things. I think I hate saying this because it's like an old cliche, but also this is relevant for team events. Like, you probably should get someone who plays Modern who really knows their deck. Like, you don't want to send your Modern player in blind, because I've talked about this before in the team event. Like, our Modern player in these tournaments, like, knows Storm in and out. Like, every single sideboard card, he knows what it's for. He knows what matchup. Like, he doesn't even think when he sideboards. He just sideboards exactly what he needs. Like, he's not getting mind gamed. Like, he knows exactly what matters, what cards could be in their deck. Like, he's not getting got. You know what I mean? Like, he knows what to do, and he knows when he can go off. Like, even if Storm's not the best deck, it's not like he'll play otherwise. Like, we're just joking. Like, but he is literally undefeated in matches in our team event. He just carries us because he's very, very well versed in Storm. And so I think when you prepare for team events, like, that's what you want, right? Like, you actually do want a specialist, at least in Modern.
Yeah.
Like, if we were on a team, I would just be like, just play Tron and just smash everyone, Alex. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, what they're playing, it doesn't matter what you're playing. Like, you just know the deck.
Yeah.
And that's how you have to make the decision. We can't be like, oh, well, like, humans keeps winning. Like, maybe we should play that deck. Like, and try it out. Like, we're just going to get smashed because we don't know what's going on. Because it's a format where, like, you need to know your deck.
Yeah.
And how to sideboard with it in Modern. Because sideboard's so important. Like, how you play the matchup, how you mulligan is so important in Modern. So, like, going into a team event, like, you want to pick somebody who's confident in that approach. Yeah. But that's for Modern, right? Like, I think team events are interesting, and like how you choose like who plays what is like also really important. I like bring this up too because team events are fun, man. They're the best like tournaments I've played in.
So, okay, here's a question. If you're preparing for a team event and say you've already picked what decks you're going to play and who's going to play them, would you prefer those people like exclusively focus on their deck, their format, learn everything sort of inside out, become very confident in like the matches that they will play, and then, you know, if they have a chance, help each other out, or maybe do some like cross testing. Like, I'm going to be playing the standard deck, but like you go play it for an event so that if you finish, you can like kind of understand positions I'm in and like coach me.
I think that if you're playing with like reasonable Magic players, they don't need to do that. They can assess what's happening. Like, we do that, and my teammate will just ask, like, is there a card in standard that does this? Like, do we have to play around this? Okay, no, just like go for it, right? Like,
around these effects, yeah.
Right. Like, they know, if they know the effects and general, you know, game, like how it plays out, they should be, you know, well versed enough to know to make an informed or slightly informed decision about what you should and shouldn't do. So that I think that it's not a huge deal, but it could definitely help, right? Like, there's no downside in doing that, but that's doing a lot of homework.
Yeah, I mean, the downside is that you have finite time, and so you don't learn your format as well, the one that you'll be primarily making decisions in.
I think it's also, we'll get to this in a sec, but I think it's also risky, though, to have someone like overly involved in making decisions with their teammate after having finished their game, simply because they haven't been paying attention to the pace of the game and the plays of the other player. They would really have to take some time and look at what's in everyone's graveyard, like how much, you know what I mean? So I think that can be actually,
and they can
do more harm than good.
Yeah, they can disrupt like the pilot's train of thought. They can,
right.
I really think the best strategy for team events is to just let your teammates play their games.
Yeah,
not try and play them for them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what we do at our team events. Is we don't even really talk, you know, like about what's happening in the match. Like, we just play and just watch it because we trust, you know, that the other person knows what they're doing and has been in the game for the first X amount of turns.
Yeah.
And so is making decisions based on what's been happening in the game. Whereas like now I just started watching. So like there was one match at a team event where our Modern player was playing a deciding game basically that was really important for us. Well, our Legacy player was still in it too, but I was like already dead. Or I'd already won. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. But he was playing like if he won the match kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I just got up and walked away. Like, I just left the table. And if you leave the table, you're not allowed to come back in team events. But I just got up and left away. I was like, I can't. Like, he knows what he's doing. I'm not helpful here. You know?
Yeah.
So. But it depends. Like, some people are going to have to ask questions. But I think I notice a lot of teams do that. And then they kind of miss something.
I think a lot of players kind of trap themselves into not trusting their own decisions when you're playing in a team event.
Yep.
And plays that you would normally make, you're like, oh well, actually, is this the right play? And you go like you trick yourself into asking your teammates about all these plays that normally you would just make.
Yeah.
And you're always second guessing decisions because you have another person that can help you with them.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And it becomes really easy to just start savagely slow playing when you do that.
Oh,
and it doesn't feel like you're slow.
infuriating.
It doesn't feel like you're slow playing because you're still doing things like I drew. Now I'm talking to my opponent. Now I played a land. Now I'm talking to my teammate, and then I got to go to a combat. But if your teammates weren't there, you're just tanking for 30 seconds, doing nothing.
Right.
And it's very easy. Yeah, you start running out the clock, and then you got to play faster, and then
yeah, it's really risky. You should almost just only on key things, right?
Yeah, or if you're if it's the combat step that I either win or I lose on the next one.
Right,
sure,
yeah. Am I doing this math right? Are we good? You know what I mean? That's fine because that's something that you can just ask quickly and openly.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if the opponent also hears it, right? So
Right.
I think that's another thing that matters. But I think, yeah, a lot of people talking about each format, with Modern, about the person should really know how to sideboard, what their deck does, the in and outs and everything. Something like Legacy, it's especially difficult to do what you're talking about because what was their brainstorm decision? How did they ponder? Did they shuffle? Your teammate might not have seen all these things leading up to it. I think Legacy is the format where everything prior to what's you're asking your teammate that they didn't see matters. So much of this information can matter, right? How many sources, in what order did they fetch? What sources did they get first? According to Wasteland, playing around Wasteland, all these things matter so much to information that can win or lose a game because Legacy is just such a game of inches. You only have such a small margin for information and error that you can't afford to just ask someone blind, oh yeah, do you think this is the best play? Well, it depends. Were they playing around Wasteland? Were they not? Were they fetching according to certain color restrictions? This is way too much to deal with, right? So in team events, I think that's another thing too, is it's too difficult to really ask the player what they should or should be doing in Legacy. But in Standard, I think it's safer though, right?
Yeah.
I think it's safer in Standard to be to ask your Modern player in the middle or whatever the order of sitting is, hey, should I make this attack or should I use this Vraska's Contempt now or hold it for this card that I can't ever beat, right? That's probably safer to ask, but because there's probably more margin for error in Standard than
Yeah, it's not as punishing
right
as Legacy and Modern, where one mistake just can cost you the match in an instant.
Yeah, Legacy especially, it's way more punishing. It feels like maybe it's not entirely.
Well, there's so many more.
But there's just
decisions.
There's just more information and resource management in Legacy than other formats because of cards like Wasteland.
Yeah.
Right? And because of Force
because
of Will.
of fetch lands as well.
Yeah, fetches.
What lands you're getting, Thoughtseize, Force of Will, Ponders, Brainstorms.
These just affect so many decisions about what did they reveal to Delver, right? There's so many things going on that it's so difficult if I'm playing Delver and I'm asking hey, do I make this attack or do I use this removal spell? You'd be what did you reveal to that Delver? What did you know what I mean? There's so much information you have to manage and know that I think in team events it can be really risky for your Legacy player to depend on.
What did he reveal to the Delver? What did he fetch? Why are you on my team?
Yeah, there's just a lot of. Unless your opponent is just playing Dredge, you just do I keep this? Does it have recipes? No, ship it, right? So that's an issue. Yeah, team events are cool for that though, right? And that there's all these different interplays about how you use the fact that you're on a team or whether you even do it.
Speaking of, and kind of the idea of margin for error, I think it's kind of a common strategy that a lot of people think of is, it's a team event. If we play two good decks that, have an all right chance, we can play a volatile deck. We can play some gotcha combo deck to try and eke out free wins. What's your take on that strategy?
I don't think it's good.
Yeah, I don't either because...
But I think a lot of people, I think a high amount of people would say oh yeah, we'll just play these two solid mid-range decks. And then there's just this crazy brew that
this crazy combo deck. Because if it wins, then only one of us has to win. Yeah, but what's its actual win percentage? Because If it loses, you both have to win.
Every game.
Right.
Every match.
And if this deck's win percentage is more than 50, how come everybody doesn't know about it? Like, then you're actually just playing a good deck. You're not playing some like wacky combo deck.
Yeah.
It's still about expected win percentage. And so don't trick yourself into thinking that like, if I lose, my opponents can carry me. Well, no, because then they have to carry you. Like, it should be
Your
that
teammates, you mean?
Yeah, teammates.
My opponents always carry me, Cap.
Yeah, true. Teammates.
TY for win. GG easy.
Because like your team, ideally, any one of your teammates should be able to buckle and the other two win due to variance or whatever.
Yeah.
That's not possible if you have like some super wild deck.
Yeah, I think it's a better strategy to take is put an aggro deck in at least one of the seeds. Because aggro decks just steal matches, and they generally
they're still fine, yeah.
They're a lot less of a glass cannon than, these crazy combo decks.
Yeah, if you do have someone, let's say, that is playing Modern but isn't familiar with the format, but your Standard player knows both, just give them Mono Red and Standard or Mardu Vehicles, which is like one of the better, Mardu Vehicles won the online Moto PTQ this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Give them Mardu Vehicles, let them kill their opponent in 10 minutes, and then
help, yeah.
Then help the Modern player. Like, I'm saying, you have to make these decisions, based on
the first and fourth place deck from the SCG team event were Mardu Vehicles.
Deck's great.
And there was
its problem deck is gone.
There was in the top 4 for Modern, Burn, and Humans, both of which I would consider. Obviously, Burn's an aggro deck
too.
Yeah, Humans is an aggro deck as well. And then Legacy is Legacy, but
two Merit Lage decks in the finals. Fun and interactive.
The Turbo decks, Depth deck wasn't even the one that turboed.
Yeah, well, Lands can do it on turn 2.
Yeah,
and they did.
Yeah,
lights out. Yeah, Lands is a great deck.
But I do think putting an aggro deck into one of the seats is generally a good strategy. I mean, your games probably end earlier than everyone else's as well, so you can bird.
Yeah, I think it depends on your team's makeup. It depends on who knows what, how this could have been the case where the Modern players really are kind of carrying the team in the sense that they know every format and they can coach, right? And their decisions matter. So it's good for someone to play Burn and just get it over with, and then they can help the Legacy and Standard player. It depends on the team makeup, because there are probably teams where they don't imagine a team that was from this weekend in Indianapolis that's Eric Froelich and Paulo and I can't remember who the
Ben Stark.
Yeah, Ben Stark. You think they probably were debating and talking, but you can also just trust them to play the game and not care.
Yeah.
So it depends.
Yeah, I think so.
But they probably actually talk more than you'd think. I think that
Yeah. Well, here, let's change gears a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about Limited and our experiences so far in this new format. I'm enjoying it a lot.
I love it.
It's great.
This Limited format has been great.
Yeah, I'm concerned. Again, we've mentioned this before. I have apprehensions about.
There's a couple obnoxious cards.
Yeah,
but I've still enjoyed meals with a baby crying in the restaurant. So
the Elder Dragons, dinosaurs, are obnoxious.
I enjoyed playing them.
Yeah, I know you did. They're obnoxious. And some of the enchantments, and again, I said this even before pre-release, I was these cards have the potential to just be infuriating to play against because you can't really interact with them. Profane Procession is just not enjoyable to lose to at all.
Yeah.
The one-sided Howling Mine. What's it called?
Yeah.
Kumena's Awakening.
I think a lot of these cards are worse in draft, though, just from what I've been experiencing so far.
Yeah.
A card like Journey to Eternity, busted and sealed.
Yes. Pretty medium in draft.
Very medium in draft.
It is very expensive.
Kumena's Awakening even.
That card, no. If you draft well around it.
Yeah, but it's
because
a lot.
You just draft blue-red aggro.
It's nowhere near as good in draft as it is in sealed.
It's unbeatable. It's just Immortal Sun. But in draft, I played against somebody who played blue-red aggro and just had dumped their hand and then just refilled, and I could never do anything.
Yeah. Even all the Elder Dinos, the blue one and the white one, I don't really think are playable in draft.
The white one and the blue one are pretty risky in draft. The black one is the best card in the format.
For sure. Yeah. And the red and the green are obviously fantastic and limited as well.
Would you rather have Black Dino or the Immortal Sun in a draft?
Black Dino.
Really?
Yep. Just feels too safe.
That's true.
You're just when it's in your hand. Like I've only played with. Okay. To be fair, I haven't played with Immortal Sun yet in a draft deck, but I have played with Tetzmoc, and it was like when I had it in my hand, I was like, if I draw a 6th land, I just don't understand how I lose this game.
Mm-hmm.
Like things would have to just go so bad for me.
I did beat it once.
Like I just don't think you can get 3 or 4 for 1 in limited and win.
Yeah.
I just don't think that like that's a reasonable thing that happens.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
Right. Like it's just
That makes sense.
on a 6/6 death touch body, like for 6.
Yeah.
That guy's massive.
Yeah, but I have been enjoying this format a lot.
Format rules.
It's
So much better than Ixalan.
It's not even remotely close.
There's been multiple decks I've played in this format that were all way more fun than any deck I ever played in Ixalan.
I don't think I played a fun deck in Ixalan. I played some very good decks in Ixalan.
Yeah.
Like I had the busted Merfolk deck, the busted Vampires deck. Like I played like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 decks, but they weren't fun.
If your deck's too good, the matches are too easy. There's nothing interesting to do.
No, it wasn't
It's
even
not,
that.
Not
It's just
entertaining.
they were so linear. Like like turn 2 Merfolk, turn 3 like Merfolk, turn 4 double River Herald Spoon when you block. My guys are 5/4s.
Yeah.
On turn
You
4,
can
and you have
never
no
kill them.
creatures. You can't kill them. Like, and they're both 5/4s. Like, I don't know. And one of them has flying. Your turn.
Yeah.
On an empty board on turn 4. Like it. My hand still has stuff in it. Like, it's just not interesting. I'm like, okay, like you just died to this combat trick, and now the game's over. Like, just not remotely interesting. And like, I don't know. The Vampires deck was like more interesting, but I think it's better now. It's way cooler.
Vampires deck is a lot better now.
That's way better. I think it was good before. I still think it was
Yeah.
a very good deck before, but now it seems like very, very strong.
I think Vampires got buffed a lot.
I think
Merfolk took a bit of a nerf.
Merfolk took a huge nerf because the like non-games that we're talking about are all Ixalan cards. There aren't like non-game cards, but now the Vampire cards are very good. Like Vampires just has a great commons, like the 2 mana 2/1 that makes a 1/1 when it dies, like Martyr of Dusk.
Dusk Legion Zealot, draw card.
Yeah, Dusk Legion Zealot is insane. That card is so good. Showing up in Standard, by the way.
Yep.
Right? People were playing it as like a 3 and 4 of in some decks. Like
In Esper Gifts, yeah.
in Esper Gifts.
in auto
It's
include.
awesome.
Yeah.
Someone was playing it in a black-red aggro deck.
Yep.
Like, the card's insane. In limited, every time I played it on turn 2, it felt like I was cheating. I was like, this card's nuts. Like, because there are like 2 mana 2/1s, lots of them in this format. And this guy draws a card and then kills, like, you just are 2 for wanting them. Very good. It's a vampire.
Yep.
Like, you play it in every non-vampire deck, though. That's black, though. So,
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
you just always.
yeah.
I put a Journey to Eternity on it once.
Yeah. And the sealed
They
format,
ever
though.
attack me, draw a card, flip this land.
Yeah. The sealed format, though, has been sweet, too. Like, I don't know. It feels like you can play tribal and sealed, and it's not. I don't know. It's not like non-interactive or uninteresting. Like,
I mean, Pete crumpled me with a Merfolk deck.
that deck is still obnoxious.
Yeah.
But actually, the reason we played the match as well. I won the match, but I lost that game because so there are some cards again that are miserable. The 5 mana 3/2 hexproof flyer, like that card is obnoxious. It's a common and it's so obnoxious because you just put the 1 mana enchantment on it that gets +1/+1, and when it hits, draw a card, and it just.
Yeah, you just have a hexproof thing that draws a card every turn
And
while
it's
clocking
flying.
for 4.
Yeah, and like
I think
good.
that card's a lot worse in draft.
in draft it's worse. In sealed, it's like it was insane. I just couldn't do anything, and he just beat me down with it in the air. But my deck was like unbeatable. I actually had like a 10 out of 10 sealed deck on Sunday, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had like Dusk Legion. So my 2 drops were like Dusk Legion Zealots, Seeker Squire, another standard playable 2-drop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Double Moment of Craving. Something else, like another good 2-drop. All pirates, except for the Dusk Legion Zealot and the Seeker Squire. But the rest of my deck was all pirates. It was like Prosperate and the Plunderers, the 5 mana guy, Hostage Taker, Fathom Fleet Captain. So my 2 Ixalan rares were Hostage Taker, Fathom Fleet, or whatever. The one that makes 2 menace guys. And then my deck had March of the Return or March of the Drowned. So I just get back my Hostage Taker and Recover, obviously. So I just recurred Hostage Takers over and over again. And like my deck had 13 removal or 12 removal spells. Like it was just.
You had the blue rare that like bounce exiles a creature and lets the owner cast it for free.
Yeah, that card was sweet. I thought it was gonna be like a jank rare, but I was like, I'll try it out because like I'm playing blue-black pirates and like give it a try. But it was actually like so good. Pete and Cam were like, no, that card sucks. Like it's just worse.
Yeah, because I read it wrong.
Yeah, they thought you didn't cast it for no casting cost. I was like, guys, like I don't think you're reading this card correctly. But it was actually sweet. I think that card is surprisingly good. I mean, it's not good. Like, it's not like a bomb rare, but I thought it was unplayable. But it turns out it was pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Do you know
if
which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, Release to the Wind.
Yeah, it's like 3 mana instant.
Yeah.
You exile any
Any permanent.
any non-land permanent,
Yeah.
and then its owner can cast it whenever they could, legally cast it without paying its casting cost.
Yeah.
So it was pretty interesting, like having Hostage Taker and being able to blink it or save my plunderers because that card just wins games. Yeah, it was very interesting. Like my deck was really like grindy, like just a bunch of 2-drops and removal spells, which is again the control decks I was talking about. But yeah.
I played Black Red Aggro on Saturday for the sealed.
Yeah, I saw you kicking teeth in.
Yeah. It was just all pirates, and like good ones, like the 3 of the 2/1 menace, the Black Red Pirate from Ixalan. I had a non-pirate in my deck, was a Smasher, Charging Montresor.
Oh yeah.
I had a shitload of removal. I went undefeated in Swiss 401, and then we drew in we split
Top 4.
Top 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, deck was great. It was so fast.
Yeah, it's surprising though. Like it's rare in sealed where they hit it where like you can play like those strategies in sealed. I think it's normally like on the podcast multiple times we've been like, yeah, don't play like these like linear dumb decks in sealed because you're gonna get smashed.
Just play your removal spells, play your bombs, try and splash some
But
colors.
like you can in this format. Like I think it's like maybe one of the. I think it's just a very well balanced sealed format.
Man, I stole a lot of games with Buccaneers Bravado, the 2-mana red instant. You give a creature +1/+1 first strike, or if it's a pirate, +1/+1 double strike.
I watched you kill multiple people with that card, actually.
Yeah, I probably won 3 or probably 4 games with that card. Just like deal a 10 game,
Yeah.
deal a 8 game.
Double strike is so much.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage.
Yeah,
It is notoriously hard to multiply by 2.
Go on.
I don't know. It's just difficult.
Yeah,
If the numbers get bigger than like 17, I don't know.
Man, Magic's just enjoyable for all right now.
Yeah. Whatever type of strategy.
Team
You like
events,
playing.
fun.
Yeah.
Sealed, fun. Draft, fun.
Aggro decks, control decks, mid-range decks.
yeah.
Oh, except for I played against some guy in Team Sealed. Not Team Sealed. In the release weekend Sealed. And he did not have any fun when I sort of assembled. So you guys talked about the decks you were playing. I was playing Naya Dinos, which I actually haven't played yet in Ixalan or this format. But I played Naya Dinos because I had Zetalpa, the red Elder Dino, Sunbird's Invocation, and Huatli.
Jeez.
And a Tilnali's Summoner. And something else. Just like a lot of rares in those colors. And I had a turn where I like emblemed Huatli, attacked with all my 1/1s,
Oh, yeah.
cast something, which triggered Sunbird's Invocation, which cast another thing, which meant that I could draw a card when that entered. And then, I'd also drawn a card from casting their creature when I attacked with my red dino in that turn. So I just made like 7 creatures, drew 6 cards, and passed after like hitting them for 8.
Jeez.
That deck was sweet.
Yeah, it was
I
pretty
had,
wild.
I had to decide between sacrificing my Huatli to make an emblem so that I could draw 6 cards when I attacked with my summoner, or attacking with my summoner and then ticking Huatli up to 16 so that I could emblem the next turn.
Oh, you know what card was also a bomb that we played on the weekend that I played with that? It was that Golem. What's it called? The land?
Golden Foundry something. Golden Golem?
Yeah, and then it flips into
Yeah.
land that
Oh,
makes
that card
2
is
mana of one color.
Unbeatable.
Yeah, you gotta pay some costs to make it
Sure.
work. But man,
It's worth it.
if the game keeps going, it is actually just incredibly obnoxious. I played a 5-color control deck in draft. Remember that deck?
That was terrible.
I mean, I smashed.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
You didn't smash. The deck was so bad.
What do you mean? Didn't you 2-0 and then...
Yeah,
you had
and
to
then
leave?
split.
Yeah.
Nah, the deck was bad.
I don't understand how you can consider casting Star of Extinction not smashing.
Man,
Dude, I starve Extinction people back to the Stone Age in my 1 mountain deck. People were rattled. That guy was so mad. He's like, I can't believe you're playing that card.
You didn't 2-0. You lost to Curtis in the second round. I watched him crush.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a medium deck.
You
But
went 1-1 and then split.
And then split. No,
deck
my opponent left.
Oh, he
Oh,
conceded to you.
Yeah, he conceded.
didn't want
He
to play
knew,
against
though.
the not so deck.
He knew.
No, God.
Oh, yeah, he knew.
No.
No, that deck was sweet. I had gifts. What was it? I don't even know what was the card that let me cast. New Horizons.
New Horizons.
That
yeah.
let me cast it.
'Cause you only
That
had one
deck was
mountain
awesome.
otherwise.
How you hate
It was not awesome. It was so bad.
Yeah, it was. But anyway, in that deck, I had that Golem card though, and if I was
Yeah.
playing a real draft deck or a real steel, I think it was just a fun draft we were doing. So like, I didn't care. I was just drafting 5 color for fun. But yeah, no, that Golem is obnoxious. If anyone wants to take and it's like on the fence about drafting or playing that card when you see it, because like, yeah, there are some costs on the front side, but oh boy,
It does look like a weird card.
it
Like,
looks like it should be bad.
It looks like, I have to 2-for-1 myself, or I have to like sack 2 creatures, or I have to like have something big enough
Or
to
have to
flip
chump
it.
and then fight. Like, in
Well, that's actually
combat.
fine.
That's actually what you do.
Right. But a lot of people think like, well, I can't use this unless I have a 4-4 and I have to sack it, or I have a 5-5. Like, it's so many. But no, you just like fight one of your 2/2s and then block their 2/2.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it locks them out of attacking you because they can't let you do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just golem
'Cause
train.
Then you ramp and make 4/4s every turn for the rest of the game. Like, yeah, that card is wild.
I agree.
Also, Curtis only smashed me because he had that stupid one-sided Howling Mine. His deck was unbeatable, dude. Like,
Oh, yeah. His deck was really good.
yeah, it was not realistic at all.
Yeah, well,
Oh, yeah. He was playing that like wild pirates deck.
Oh yeah, his deck was actually
I remember
insane.
that now.
Like actually just unbeatable. Like
It was like Grixis pirates with perfect fixing and like a bunch of uncommons.
in the last round, him and his opponent like actually split for like first place, and he even said like as he was like they're playing for fun, he's like I don't know why I split. He's like I should have just kicked your teeth and it took all the packs. You know, like he was just like saying it. He's like I just don't understand why I split. Like my deck's unbeatable. I'm like, I am aware. My deck was sweet. You're just a hater, hating on my 5-color piles.
whatever, man. Whatever, man.
You know what the
All
best part of Starve Extinction is? Everyone always says that, like, well, Ascend is okay. Like, you don't need to commit too much to achieving Ascend because, worst case scenario, you'll get there with your lands. Not if you get Starve Extinction.
Oh yeah,
Jeez.
gotcha. The best was when I tanked on that guy.
You've definitely hit Ascend before your opponent casts the turn 7 Starve Extinction.
That doesn't mean that
Can't
it's a
lose
part
a
of the
City's
card that you
Blessing,
should
though. Can't
disregard.
lose it.
But what if they haven't played their Ascend card yet?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
You need an Ascend card in play while you have 10 permanents.
Yeah. How about that? Okay, if you were playing in a team event for each format, what would you play? We can end with this question.
Man, okay. I don't know for Legacy because Legacy never I've played that format how many times? 4 or 5 times? I don't
You
know.
can play a Stoneforge Mystic deck.
God no.
Man, that card sucks.
Play
don't know.
Sneak and Show or something.
Well, no. Here,
Yeah,
let's
I mean, Sneaky Show's amazing.
let's phrase it this way. We're going into a team event. Let's say we're going this weekend. Cam's playing Standard. You're playing Legacy. I'm playing Modern.
Okay.
What do we play, Cam?
I'm probably going to play that Grixis Energy deck. I might go a bit more controlling, already kind of building for the beer. Like I might play 4 Gear Hulk main and like some extra braids and life gain spells. Like I might even put, I guess, Moment of Craving in the sideboard. Because like there's all
Dude,
these aggro decks.
Yeah, no, Moment of Cravings. I mean, dude, Freak is Cure was a double black card that did the exact same thing. It was worse, actually, than Moment of Craving, probably in most cases. And it's all play in sideboards.
Yeah.
There's like a 4 of at some points.
So I'd play Grixis Energy with more braids, more Moment of Cravings, and maybe some extra Gear Hulks to like also go bigger in the mirror if I need to.
What would you play in Legacy?
Probably check pile, like 4-color control with like Leovolts and Baleful Strix and Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably just Deathrite Shamans, the blue cards, and Leovold.
Any
know what I
Moment
mean?
of Craving?
No,
Oh.
there are better cards than that. Yeah, I just like that. I think that covers the spread. Like you don't have to worry about, and like the sideboard possibilities are huge. I think it's like comically good versus Delver decks. I mean, that's the whole reason you play it. Like you have Abrupt Decay, so you just Abrupt Decay their Delver. You also have Baleful Strix, which Delver decks just don't beat. The lands decks are bad, but you can beat them if you know what matters and like how to interact. They play like Thoughtseize and Duress if you want, so like you can get Storm decks. Like the sideboard selection is really diverse. I think it's just a good deck. I would also consider playing Grixis or a 4-color Delver, but I personally have never been a fan of Delver strategies in Legacy. I play Bug Delver sometimes for a bit, and I've played different Delver decks in Legacy here and there. I wouldn't play the blue-white control deck that sees play, even though it is a good deck and it actually does well. I wouldn't play it because I don't have enough experience with it, but yeah. So I would probably play just like a 4-color good stuff deck in Legacy. I think that gives me the most edge to beating people. I think it just gives me like a play skill edge. So that's one I would play.
What variant of Tron are you playing in Modern?
Green, black. End of story.
Yeah, green, black.
Yeah.
You got a collective brutality, right?
Yeah.
You need it for burn.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's that.
Fair enough.
Right? Like you trust you can beat everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Like how do you obviously, so like this Bant Company deck that got second place at SCG is basically just like instead of black, it's playing blue for the Vizier combo, right? With Walking Ballista and infinite damage, infinite mana with Devoted Druid. How apart from them just like turn 3 or 4 comboing you, how is that matchup for you?
I don't know. I've never played it.
I mean, you've played against the Vizier decks though, right? Or the Collected Company style decks in
I've
Modern?
played against Collected Company decks.
Collected cord decks.
It's
got to be a joke, right?
Yeah.
Tron has to just dunk them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do, for sure.
There's a window where...
This one's going to be better, though, I guess, because it has Unified Will in the sideboard stuff, right? It has Spell Queller, which is annoying.
Which of their abilities can you react to? If you have an O-Stone active, can they not combo you?
Can you respond to the untap Undevoted Druid? Or is it you can't because it's part of a mana ability?
No, because the untap part's not a mana ability. It's
the untap
it's a trigger.
It's a trigger.
Or it's an activated ability. It goes on the stack.
Yeah.
You pay a cost and then put it on the stack. You can't respond to the mana ability, but the untap you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just kill it and respond.
Yeah, so you can just stop them before they have a reasonable
Yeah.
amount of mana.
Yeah, if you have O-Stone, you can't lose.
Yeah.
Also, they have a lot of cards that just do nothing. And they have no real way, apart from company, generating advantage. If you sort of the times I've played against them, I've never lost to the Vizier decks. In fact, I never see those decks win because if you just kind of kill their stuff, their cord does nothing. Their creatures are
Generally-
horrendous on their own.
I haven't played Modern in a real long time, but the experience I had when I used to with Cord and Collected Company decks is the first O-Stone is always the game. Think about it. They usually have a whole bunch of mana dudes and maybe 2 lands, and you wipe their board, and then the game's over.
Yeah.
Because they're on 2 lands, and I have 9 mana.
Yeah, you just carding their lands after
and
that.
the only really thing you cared about, you never cared about their infinite life combo because
you can reset the game.
You reset the game with Karn.
Yeah.
So that's not an auto win. The only thing you cared about was the infinite damage with Murderous Red Cap.
Yeah, now Ballista.
Yeah. Yeah. But I imagine Tron is still favored. I don't really see how this deck is ever interacting with your lands.
They're not. They're
Yeah.
definitely not.
Yeah.
I don't think they can really do anything.
They could mind sensor your expedition map.
They will bring that card in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
100% they bring that card in again.
Yeah, in case you're playing Scrying or...
Yeah, but it's easy to play around that card.
Yeah.
And you always do against the white core decks.
I don't even think they play Ghost Quarter.
No, there's none.
So yeah, but it's funny actually, you didn't see if there's no Tron in this top 8, is there?
No. No, it's a
that's
team
probably
event.
why Burn is in this top 8. Right? Because Tron was huge leading up to this tournament.
Yeah.
And Burn doesn't usually do that well, but people probably were playing it because they were just gunning for Tron because it's a miserable matchup for Tron.
Yeah, it is. I don't know.
Well, I guess there was a mono green Tron in the top
Team
32.
events are tough, though. I think you expect to play a lot more aggro decks than you'd think, so maybe it'd be better to play something like Jeskai Control.
Yeah. I mean, there was a Jeskai Control in the top 8.
Yeah. It's tough to say, but yeah, I'd probably just play Tron.
Yeah. If I were playing Modern, I'd play just Grixis Death Shadow. That deck is sweet. I think it's good. I'd say I wouldn't play Grixis for sure, but I would play a Death Shadow variant.
Yeah. Anyway, coming to the end of this episode, Wizard Tower is holding a standard open qualifier this Saturday.
The weekend after is their actual open, right?
Yeah, because Pro Tour weekend is not this, but the next weekend. So your last chance to get free entry into the Wizard Tower Open.
Yeah, which is just a free, sweet cash tournament.
I will be there on Saturday playing.
Yeah, I think I might play as well if I can get a standard deck together in time.
Yeah, I need to
I
decide
got
what
some
I'm
ideas for something I want to
Gotta
try.
decide what I want to play in
I
standard.
know,
Though.
it's wild. Get these brew times.
how's-
Get a team deck.
How's this for an idea that I literally just thought of? Because I've been trying like Godfarrow's Gift variants, and I was talking to you, Alex, before we started recording about like, should you play Gate to the Afterlife? Should you play Refurbish? And now I was thinking about playing like Gear Hulk control decks. So, you know what else gets an artifact into play for free? Saheeli.
Oh boy, no one's going to kill it.
Right, no one's going to clear Saheeli. Then you tick down, you go get like Torrential, Combustible, Godfarrow's Gift, make a Torrential, attack you.
Does it Saheeli put them into play?
Yeah.
Oh, yeesh.
Which one are they going to abrade? Doesn't matter.
Sounds terrible.
So you
Sounds
get to
so
scry every
bad.
turn.
Yeah.
How does like if you're playing the Grixis Mirror, they like have to pressure a Planeswalker with their shitty creatures.
With a
Your
Whirler
copy-
Virtuoso and their Menace.
Right, then they have to
2/1.
dump all their energy to like pressure your Saheeli. Then you just do whatever else you want.
What else are they spending energy on?
Oh yeah, that's what we're looking
Harness
for.
Lightnings.
A do nothing Walker. That's
Yeah.
guys.
Your draws are always better
Okay,
than
you
theirs.
try it
Like,
out.
you get to your Scarab Gods.
Try it
Yeah,
out this
I'm going
weekend and
to.
report back.
I'm going to take my Saheelis like out of the frame I have them in.
I want to play a Chupacabra deck.
She can copy
Shocker.
Chupacabra.
Shocker.
Oh, geez. She
Yeah.
can. She can copy Chupacabra.
Oh my god.
Grixis Saheeli.
Oh.
Ravenous Dogs and Godfarrow's Gift.
All right.
Nah,
I'm in.
this seems
Yeah.
real. This seems real bad.
Oh yeah,
What
that's
do you
why I
mean
said
it's
I'm
real
in. Speaking of real bad,
That you play
Cam
a
not
Saheeli?
blocking on the weekend.
Oh, blowout of the week.
Man.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah, right.
So Cam mistakenly thought that a 1/2 that was attacking was the one that gets +1/+0 when it attacks. And there was a Vampire Lord, although that guy's a human, and Cam just had a mind blank and didn't block at one point when he's at like 16. And he takes an extra 2 damage that he didn't need to take, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, oh my God, I know exactly. I'm watching this game and I'm like, I know exactly why he didn't block.
We had
Because he
got a
thinks-
lot of sleep the night before. It
Was
a
that
real
the night we were
response-
out? Oh,
Yeah, we were out drinking.
Oh, we had a time.
Yeah, I took an extra 2 damage because the night prior I took an extra 2 drinks.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, oh yeah. Before we went
As
out,
one does.
we were having a few beers before we went out, and then I was like, oh wait, before we call an Uber, let me just drink this glass of bourbon. And like, I don't mean like I had to put a shot in. I meant like I just.
A glass of
Oh
bourbon.
Yeah,
He's like,
I was
filled
expecting
it.
him to like. He said a glass of bourbon. I was like, all right, what are you mixing it with? Like, we don't have mix. He's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, and then I just filled up like a cup with bourbon and drank it, and then we went out to the bar.
Okay.
So anyway, we were like not feeling the best. But yeah, anyway, so he takes 2 damage that he doesn't need to take. He has like a bunch of dumb fatties on the ground, and his opponent has like kind of littler guys, but his opponent's at like basically 20. And he has the red Elder Dino in hand,
Yep.
or sorry, in play. The one that when it attacks, you reveal a card off the top of each library and you can cast them until end of turn.
Yep.
Without paying their cast, which is nuts. Didn't realize that you didn't have to pay. That card's busted. And then he has a Zatalpa in hand, but only 7 land, and he's top decking. And his opponent has the 2/5 flyer
Okay.
and attacks him down to 2 because he took that extra 2 damage. And I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna lose because he took 2 damage like 4 turns ago for no reason.
Yeah.
Because he had an 0/3 he could have blocked it with. He just didn't. He just no blocked. And I was like, oh no. Like he thought it was a different creature. And I'm like, oh my God, like he's going to lose this game.
Yeah.
And then he draws. I don't see what his draw is. I find out after it's the 8th land. So he can play this as a Zatalpa and block the 2/5 flying bird and not die. But before he does this, he's like, okay, well, I'm not dead. I might as well attack with the red dino and see what happens. He reveals Pious Interdiction off the top of his opponent's library, which would just take away his Zatalpa. Instead, he gets to cast it, go back to 4 life, so he's not dead to the 2/5, get rid of the guy, and then kill his opponent with like Zatalpa and the red Elder Dino. I'm just like, are you serious? Like, I just like burst out laughing. I'm like, that is ridiculous. Like, so if he doesn't attack with the red Dino, which it admittedly is a bit of a risky attack, he does lose to the Pious Interdiction on top of his opponent's deck because it stops. It doesn't matter that Zatalpa's indestructible. Like it gets taken out by.
And like I had to weigh the attack because I knew from an earlier Explorer that my opponent was just missing a black source for an Impale they had in hand. So I needed to weigh like, I have to chump with everything. Like if I attack with this, because they can kill my other blocker.
Yeah. So like making this attack is also like, yeah, and that, because he's at 2 and needs to top of the block the flyer. If he makes this attack and it's a swamp, on the next card, even like he dies. Like if he doesn't attack, he dies.
Yeah.
And I'm like watching, I'm like, oh my God. Like,
Well, you have to attack there because the red dino doesn't have flying.
no, I know.
Yeah.
No. But there's also ground guys that are
No, but
like
okay.
get in if if he draws a black source for the impale.
okay. I'm
gonna
he's
play-
also dead.
Okay.
Like in my mind, I'm going to play Zatalpa to block the flyer. So I have blockers for everything if I want. But the impale's bad if I attack with the red dino.
Okay.
But he does and hits the spell on top. The only spell in his opponent's deck that would deal with Zatalpa and puts him in range to not die to the 2/5 flyer in the air. I'm like, and like, so he reveals it. And I just like burst out laughing. Then he plays the Edgeland and Zatalpa. I'm like, is that the world's luckiest man?
Yes.
And this,
Confirmed.
I felt actually bad for his opponent. I'm like, wow, that is nuts. Like you just got blown out by your only out in the deck after old bad Cam over here, like take damage for no reason. It was unreal, man.
that
guy
wasn't
got
even
blown
like
out.
the luck. Well, it was the luckiest turn in that match. But like turns prior, my opponent cast the Thoughtseize. And I had 2 double red spells in hand and only 1 red source. And then just ripped a red source and cast both my double red spells. Then ripped an 8th land and cast a Tulpa.
Yeah. It was like,
Right on.
I felt so bad for like he got blown out so bad just by like the only spell in his deck that like matters in that case was the top card for the red Elder Dino, and it like he loses it and that he loses the game. I'm like, oh, like I felt so bad, and he had a while, like he had time to dig to it if Cam didn't just like take it on the first attempt to save his life. I'm like, come on, it was
incredible.
yeah, dude, it was like a series of just like insane flips. Yeah, it was wild.
All 3 of us were shocked.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah. I'm just sitting there watching and like I'd been quiet the whole game and like just kind of sitting there and I couldn't even contain myself anymore. It's just like, wow, woof. Like that was wild. Yeah, that red Elder Dino, whatever its name is,
Primal
Italia,
Storm.
is just not like realistic.
Yeah. All right. Thank you all for joining the club this week. Make sure, as always, you check out wizardtower.com for all your magic single needs. And shoot us a like on Facebook, follow on Twitter, shoot us a message with blowouts. We love hearing from you guys. Or if you have something we want us to talk about on the podcast, more than willing to hear requests.
Yeah, we didn't talk about was team limited like building and what you can do, so we can save that for another episode. This was sort of about team constructed, but we can say that. Also, we had some other blowouts sent in, but I think that the flipping the Pious intersection is the only out is on top of your opponent's deck with the red Elder Dino is insane.
We'll get you a foil Pyrus.
No, we got to get it to that guy who got blown out.
Foil red dino.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. And however you listen to this podcast, whether it's on Podbean, iTunes, your podcast app, leave us a review, rate the podcast, share it with your friends. Anything helps this podcast keep growing and bring it to new listeners. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you next week.
Cheers.
Bye.